Hi, my name is Albert Whale and I'm the CEO of IT Security Solutions. On today's video, we're examining an MSP in the Washington, D.C. area. This is a typical examination of managed service providers that we find whenever we bring our ItSafe security solution to bear and help them identify the items that are already inside their networks. So one of the big reasons that managed service providers are a target is that they service hundreds of clients. These clients will end up getting hacked if the cyber criminals can only attack the MSP. So by leveraging the MSP, they get 100 times the benefit by identifying how to break in to their clients directly. Well, I want to talk briefly about the 50 breach statistics for cybersecurity in 2020. This came to me today, and I wanted to publicize this in my next video. The most worrisome breach statistics are 4.1 billion records were compromised in 2019. And that number's probably higher because this was published April 19th of last year. And the mean time to recovery of a breach is 70 days. That's for the business itself. The clients might end up having a much longer time than 70 days. And if it's a compromise of their identity for identity theft, it could be 7 years. The mean time to identify a data breach is about 200 days. What I'm about to show you in our video was discovered in under an hour. Some of the events came up in 10 minutes. And because we can identify them, we automatically mitigate the problem by deleting them and destroying them in the network, thus eliminating the problem before having to wait 200 days to identify the problem. 75% of the companies say a data breach has caused material disruption to business processes. And in 85%, the SBA says those organizations go out of business in about 6 months. The average cost of a data breach today exceeds $3.9 million. So, in identifying these issues, here's what our big differentiator is for ItSafe. Security methods that go through today with a security assessment are valid for a single point in time, meaning today only. When you make changes tomorrow or the Windows update comes through on next Tuesday, all bets are off because now the environment has changed. For continuous scanning tools and tools that we're employing currently, we're going to look at today and assess the environment for tomorrow. But basically, we're assessing against known vulnerabilities, which means that unknown vulnerabilities are fair game. Any zero-day exploits have their way with the systems and get away with doing just about anything they want because security tools today only work with today's known vulnerabilities. And that's what makes ItSafe different. ItSafe protects against the attacks that occurred yesterday, last week, last month, and last year, as well as today and tomorrow. So we're able to identify malicious activity that's already inside the network because it's not a virus or a malware component that's happening. And we don't necessarily need to know the compromisability or the vulnerabilities on each of the sites because we're seeing the data live as it's occurring. So let's get right to the data feed. In this environment, we identified several big problems. There were Trojans identified using DNS for command and control, and that included ZBot and ZBurp configurations going through the network, with successful genetic phishing attempts going through the network as we're viewing it. Now, our environment was only scanned for an hour, but in that hour period, we were able to identify a multitude of Trojan activities, 2,500 of them basically, in that hour period. And communications to unallocated address space happened more than 1,500 times. That unallocated address space is how attackers identify themselves to their home market so that they can connect and control that environment directly. We also identified backdoors via Java, and downloads of executable files were held while we were meeting with the executives in the boardroom. Also, during the scan itself, we were able to identify a network attack. Over here you can see it happening, miscellaneous activity and a network attack within that hour time. And the network Trojan was identified more than 4,100 times. So that means communications are going on continuously. One more thing that comes up besides all of these other assets that we can identify in the network is how many countries are inside the environment. This is an MSP. This MSP is in Washington, D.C. This MSP had 28 countries inside the environment, and the attackers had their way with it until ItSafe came in to protect them and save the day. So here's a lesson that cybersecurity budgets before a breach are only pennies on the dollar, but the budget itself explodes ridiculously to hundreds or 10,000 times the original pennies because people are tired of the problems and they want to make them go away. Well, with ItSafe, we can make them go away for much less than the breach itself will ever be. You can be your client's hero. You can save the day with ItSafe, because with ItSafe, we can make your business and their business safe again. Thank you.